Elizabeth Scala here from elizabethscala.com. So, continuing on with sort of, I have my laptop here, contact or emails or blogs or, people reaching out to me asking questions. And hopefully this is helpful in terms of these videos that I'm putting out on a regular basis. This one is interesting because it also relates to sort of what's going on in my life outside. I'm not sure if you can hear in the video this pounding noise. They're digging trenches out in my front yard, and I wanted to shoot videos all day. However, it was really loud before, and so now it's kind of getting darker and the lighting is bad and all sorts of things are going wrong, but I wanted to get this content out. So it's kind of, it'll come up in a moment when I share this next nurse's email. So a nurse responded to me asking about answering my biggest challenge question. So last time I shared with you that I put out a biggest challenge to your nursing career when you subscribe to my newsletter. So this particular nurse actually gave us two, which are kind of related. One is the biggest challenge is having a day-night rotating schedule, and certainly having that impact their time. And then the other thing is this particular nurse got into nursing because of their love for integrative modalities and holistic therapies. And they live in a city where integrative health is accepted, but at this particular department, at this particular hospital, they're not as up to speed. So the nurse is saying they sometimes feel single-handedly trying to introduce integrative therapies into the department. So I bring this up. The challenge seems to be if you are trying to do something and having your plan derailed, as today with me doing the videos and having the men working outside, or as this particular nurse is trying to work with more integrative therapies in their department and feeling as if that plan is off course. So there's two things I want to say to this for the content of today's video. The pounding outside just got really loud, so you may hear that, I'm sorry. The first piece is being able to be flexible and go with the flow. So I have an example. I was interviewing Marcia Batty, who is also has a website. She's also known as The Bossy Nurse and has a website, thebossynurse.com. And I was interviewing her for this year's Art of Nursing program, which is held during National Nurses Week. And her particular topic was about self-care strategies for nurses. Even though we're so busy, we don't have time, what are some simple strategies we can do to integrate healthy behaviors into our busy schedule? So Marcia and I got to talking, and I was telling her that when winter hit in 2016, particularly in February, it was very, very, very cold. Cold, like once the sun went down, you didn't want to leave the house. And we also had some snow, which makes it harder to travel. And I was telling her that my self-care routine, which for me, I go to the gym and I like to do exercise classes, group classes. And I said I hadn't gone in 3 weeks, maybe even 4, and my self-care routine was thrown off course. So her interesting response to that was, well, what can we do around the home? Self-care doesn't necessarily always mean exercise. It could mean reading a good book. It could mean having a cup of tea and talking with a friend on the phone. It could mean watching a funny movie and curling up with, your fur friend. There's self-care all around us. It's kind of us navigating it and being flexible to finding what works for us, despite the fact that life, in my case today, the loud workers outside shows up. Now in this nurse's case, in terms of integrating holistic and integrative health into their department, my second piece of advice, besides just sort of going with the flow and kind of seeing what options there are can you glean onto any like-minded colleagues? This nurse mentions that integrative health is accepted very well in the city that she lives in. So can she tap into where it's already accepted and leverage that? Are there any success case studies she can share within her department? Are there any events that go on in the city that she can invite some of her colleagues that are more open to integrative health to experience it for themselves? I know when I was teaching Reiki and sharing Reiki with the nurses at the hospital, I often said, the very best way to experience or to understand Reiki, to understand it, was to experience it, not so much talk about it. So my suggestion for this nurse and anyone out there watching is, if you are trying to integrate something new into your area where you work, can you find sort of the low-hanging fruit, the places where it's already accepted, and leverage those assets to help you move your passions and desires and, much needed work forward. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or need any further support or resources, certainly visit elizabethscala.com. Thank you.